My name is Lin Kuang, and there is a ship driver on a broken small planet on the bank of the Silver River. It is said that the good thing is the independent contractor, and the hard thing is the errand runner. Every day, I open my old iron leather to run some broken copper wires, earning a little bit of international credit, and barely filling my stomach. In the Silver River, the war is like the New Year's firecrackers. For resources and ground plates, major civilizations have to fight to the death every day. We can only use our little fish to survive. That day, I took a single order and sent a batch of waste parts to the Black Iron Star field. I was reluctant to repair the engine that was about to fall apart. I thought it was a simple operation, but I didn't expect that it would take me a short while before I could fly out of the safe area. Radar suddenly became crazy and a bunch of red spots popped up on the screen, which made me shocked. Damn! What's going on? I patted the console, and the broken screen flashed and finally showed the wheels of a fleet of ships, more than a dozen weapons-packed battleships, and a skeleton with skeletons on the flags were painted on the flags. Hey, boy, stop the boat! I'm from the Black Skull Sea Gang. I'm in a good mood today. I hand over the goods and boats and save you a life. A rough sound came from the communication channel, carrying a scent of smell. I felt a sudden smile in my heart. These guys were not just a joke. There were more places like police in the river than in the police. Killing people is just like eating. I gritted my teeth and replied with a stern voice, "Boss, don't introduce it. My ship is just a pile of broken copper wires, and there is no oil or water. Otherwise, I will give you some credit points. What's the way to buy the money?" "Ha, waste your time. Credit points? What I want is the goods and ship. Give you 10 seconds, stop, or you will be blown into cosmic garbage." The voice sneered, and Leda showed that their ship had locked me and the weapon energy was being charged. My palms were covered in sweat, and my brain was flying quickly. Stop the boat? That is to wait for death, and these scoundrels will never leave any living. Run? The broken thing iron leather is as fast as a turtle, and it can't run past their battleships at all. Spell? Not to mention, I don't have a similar shield on my ship, so how can I fight with it? At this moment, the Leda screen suddenly flashed, and a strange signal popped out of the lower right corner, like the logo of some kind of floating object on the bone, less than 1,000 kilometers away from me. My heart moved. No matter what he is, I will go and hide first. So I suddenly pulled the rod and the iron leather wailed, and forced a big shot and rushed towards the signal. Want to run? Seeking death. The thunderbolt roared, and more than 10 warships, Lima, accelerated to chase after me, and the laser cannon and guides smashed at me like money. I gritted my teeth and avoided the flash on the left and right, barely relying on several asteroids to cover it, and I was not directly beaten into a sieve, but the tail of the iron leather was still hit by 2 blows, and black smoke came out of the engine and had to be reported at any time. Finally, I rushed to the nearest point of the signal and looked closely. Damn. That was not a slaughter. It was a huge black warship floating quietly in the universe. There was no sign of any damage on the surface, as if it had just opened from the ship. But its shape is extremely strange. Unlike any design of a known civilization, there are some strange patterns on the body of the ship, which scatters a blue glimmer. What is this thing? I swallowed, and I was both scared and a little excited. At this time, the Sea Thunder team had already chased behind the butt. A guide flew over with the iron leather and directly shattered asteroids. The shockwave shocked me so much that I almost threw it out of the seat. Boy, can't you run away? I'll ask you one last time, stop? The voice of the Sea Thunder was filled with pride. I gritted my teeth and thought to myself, I would hide in first. So I controlled the iron leather and rushed to the side of the black warship. I thought it would break directly, but I didn't expect that the body of the ship suddenly cracked a gap, like an automatic door, sucking my entire ship directly in. Buzz, a low bird sounded, and the light around me dimmed. I realized that I had entered a huge space in the wall, surrounded by metal structures, and the space seemed like a wasteland. Just as I was stunned, a cold mechanical sound suddenly came from my ears. I detected external threats and activated the emergency prevention system. The identity of the boss is confirmed. The confirmation is completed, the temporary right is granted, welcome to return the ship, the number is Mad Wolf. What? Long? Mad Wolf? What's the thing? I was confused, but before I could react, the virtual screen in front of me suddenly lit up, showing the movements of the Sea Siege team outside. They had encircled the black warship, and the artillery was blowing wildly here, but strangely, all the attacks were like hitting the air, causing no damage at all. The obsession mode has been activated, and the enemy cannot detect the location of this ship. The firepower system is gone. Is it counterattack? The mechanical sound started again, and his temperament was as calm as if he was asking me what to eat for lunch. I was stunned for a moment, and a sudden burst of heat surged in my heart. Being obsessed? Firepower system? What kind of fairy war is this, mother? I slapped the table suddenly and shouted, counterattack. Give me a fuck them. I'm so embarrassed by these bastards. I received the command, the main gun was charged, the target was locked, and the fired. The mechanical sound responded without emotion. Later, I heard a low bird coming from the inside of the body. A dazzling blue beam was shown on the screen, directly passing through the largest warship in the Sea Pirate team. The ship had no chance to react, and it was instantly torn into 2.5, and the explosion of fire illuminated the entire star field. Bottle. This power. My eyes were almost glaring out. The sea fountain exploded in an instant, and the remaining ships formed a group. Some people screamed, "There is an ambush. Run," and some people were yelling, "Who fucked? I'm going to kill him." What's the matter? One comes, don't slam it. I grinned, controlled the aiming system on the screen, locked another battleship, pressed the attack key with his hand, and another blue light cannon, and the ship exploded into a group of smoke. My broken ship driver has turned over today. In less than 10 minutes, I could run away more than 10 massacre warships. Looking at the dead body floating on the screen, I felt so happy that I was just chasing like a dog. Now I just gave them all. Long, I found that there were a large amount of resources in the slaughter. Will it be recycled? The sound of the mechanical sound rose again. Recycle. Must be recycled. These bastards are snatching others. I'll come back today. I swept my hand, and the black warship automatically released several small unmanned machines, and began to recycle the goods and equipment in the dead. Looking at the resource list displayed on the screen, my eyes were straightened: energy crystals, rare alloys, and even a few unbad weapon modules. This wave of money is directly generated. Just as I was so happy that I couldn't hold my mouth, a sharp voice suddenly came out of the ship. Hey, the new ship, you are so cruel. As soon as you came up, you gave the Black Skull group awesome. I was stunned and looked around and found that the sound came from a small robot next to the console. It looked like an iron leather can. The two mechanical eyes were flashing with blue light, and they were looking at me worship with their faces. Who are you? Why are you on this boat? I asked with a brow. My name is Xiao Ji. It is the AI of this warship, responsible for maintenance and information analysis. I was watching that wave of operations just now. Your new ship is so powerful. But I would like to remind you that this ship is not an ordinary cargo. It is called Shadow Killer. It is a warship in the Silver River sphere. Its firepower can pick a whole civilized fleet with a single firepower. The body hiding function is even more invincible. The enemy cannot even touch you. Xiao Ji said, shaking his brain, and his language is full of pride. Trade level? Single picking team? I heard my heart beat faster, my brain full of pictures of myself opening the battleship sweeping the Silver River. Then why did this ship float here? Why did I grow up? That's it. To put it simply, the previous ship of the Shadow Killer has missed, and the system automatically looks for a new master. You just came in, and then through the emergency identity confirmation, it became a temporary ship. However, if you want to fully control the ship, you still have to complete some tasks and unlock more rights. Xiao Iron explained. Mission? What mission? I raised my eyebrows. Don't worry, come slowly. Haven't you been making a fortune now? What should I do next? I plan to continue as a ship driver or a big business. Xiao Zhi blinked his eyes, smiling like a bad smile. I looked down at the mountain of resources on the screen, and ambition surged in my mind. As a ship driver? I've been through that day. With this shadow killer, my mother is going to make a big splash. What about the sea zombie? What about the civilized fleet? If you dare to mess with me, I will do what? Hey, Little Iron, help me check if there are any larger gangs nearby, or any money-worthy goals. I won't run away. From today on, the King of Seas in the Silver River Galaxy is my only. I slapped the table and rushed into the sky with great enthusiasm. Xiao Iron heard it and pointed it at the head. Okay, boss. In the analysis of the situation, the target was being selected. Hey, there was a big fish, not far away from us. It was a gang called the Blade Alliance. I heard that they just grabbed a civilized business team, and the goods were full of good things. Should I touch it? I squirted at the corner of my mouth, and a cold light flashed in my eyes. Touch? No, it's just a fuck. Let's go and meet them, so that the entire Silver Galaxy knows that the new sea scoundrel is here. Little Iron, lock the position of the Blade Alliance. Let's go. I want to see, this helps the guy has a few pounds. I stepped on the console, staring at the jumping coordinate data on the screen, and the heat in my heart couldn't suppress it. Received, long. The target distance is 3 of us, and we can reach it within an hour. I would like to remind you that the Blade Alliance is not a group like Black Skeleton that beats small things. They have more than 30 modified warships, and their heads are called Blood Claws. They are said to be a ruthless master. They dare to snatch the ships of the civilized fleet. The Iron adjusted the data on one side, and reminded me with the sharp voice. The mechanical eyes flashed with a blue light, as if they were deliberately trying to find out if I had any snails. What are you afraid of? There are shadow killers here. Don't say 30 warships, 300 I will also fuck him. Besides, they have swept the civilized business team, and the goods must be full of good things. If this vote is done, we will fly directly. I grinned, patted the Iron's iron leather brain bag, sat back on the long seat, and pulled the rod suddenly. The body mode is turned on, jump the engine and start, go. Buzz a low bird rose, and the entire black warship instantly penetrated into the air, and only a vague shadow could be seen on the thunder. I leaned against the seat, looking at the jumping star on the screen, and my heart started to check out how to connect the Blade Alliance. An hour later, the shadow killer quietly stopped at the edge of a chaotic star field without any noise. There are floating bones and stones everywhere, like a battle where a big battle was just over. On the LADA screen, more than 30 red spots were gathering near a small planet, and a blood-dropping blade was painted on the flag, which was indeed the logo of the Blade Alliance. Chief, please confirm the goal. They are sharing the goods, but the goods they just snatched have not moved. 20 warships are guarding, and the remaining 10 are patrolling the surroundings. The defense is good. Xiao Hai's voice was filled with a panic. What should I do? Just go straight or play some fun? Jing? That's so meaningless. We have to play smart. I touched my chin, narrowed my eyes, and had an idea in my brain. Little Iron, adjust their communication channel. Let's listen to what they are talking about first, and then see if there are any loopholes. Okay. The Little Iron lever started to operate, and an audio window popped up on the console, and a noisy sound came from it. Head, this batch of real money is worth it. Those few boxes of high-purity energy crystals alone can sell hundreds of billions of credit points, and those medical modules have been used for several years. A rough voice brought an excited smile. Stop talking, it's good to be a tight spot. The civilized fleet has definitely received the news. We have to withdraw before they come. This time, the ship of the Sky Alliance was slammed, which made them angry and it would be difficult for them to go. Another low voice sounded, with a sense of coldness, and it should be the blood-clawed lord. I heard the conversation that helped the guy and couldn't help but sneer on the corner of my mouth. Hey, it's really a big fish, the goods are worth tens of billions of credit points. If I pass all this, I can buy several local owners of the small planet. However, this blood claw is still a little brain-like when you hear it. You will run away after you know it's done. It's probably not easy to come directly. Xiao Ji, analyze their warship configuration and find the weaknesses. I ordered in a low voice. In the analysis. Okay, the ships, most of their warships are modified ships, and their firepower can barely compete with low-level civilized patrol logic, but the defense system is very garbage, and there is no invisible detection. Our shadow killer is completely crushed. The only thing that is troublesome is that they are crowded and scattered patrol logic, and once they are open, they may be surrounded. Xiaoshi quickly replied, his mechanical eyes flashed, or how can we pick a few orders to kill them first and weaken them again? Okay, that's all. I locked the patrol ship at the edge, approached me, and let me sink. I waved my hand, and the aiming system on the screen locked a lonely red spot. The shadow killer quietly slid without a sound, and within a few minutes it had approached its target less than 1,000 meters. The patrol ship was still slowly turning around, and the pressure didn't realize that the god of death had come to the back of his butt. I sneered and pressed the attack key. The blue beam instantly tore through the air, directly splitting the warship into 2.5 from the middle. The explosion of fire was emitting a beautiful look in the star field. Take! It's great! I couldn't help but pat my thighs, so excited that I wanted to yell. The enemy is in ruins, no signal exists. The chief, the Bloodblade Alliance's communication channel exploded. They found an ambush. The patrol logic is retracting the defense line. Xiaoshi reported quickly. Why are you panicking? Let them know who is your father. My eyes lit up, and I locked another patrol ship beside me. The blue cannon fired again, and in an instant there was another spark. Who did it? I'm going to kill him. All ships, collect the shapes of the stylus, turn on the thunder scan, and find that bastard. Bloodclaw's voice was trembling. Scan? Scan you. I'm obsessed, you can do nothing. I laughed, not taking them seriously at all. For the next half an hour, I was like a cat and mouse, replacing around their shapes in a hidden mode, and taking advantage of the single patrol logic. 1 gun was fired, and 6 were killed in the blink of an eye, and the remaining battleships in the Bloodblade Alliance were all reduced to a group, like a scoundrel that was scared to pieces. Chief, they are all gathering on the back of the planet now. They probably plan to use terrain to cover and avoid attacks. What should I do? Do I just punch or continue to grind? Xiao Ji asked. What are you grinding? I haven't got the goods yet. We have to fight quickly. I gritted my teeth, little iron, adjust the position of their main ship, we cut in directly, kill the blood claws, and the remaining little ones will naturally disperse. Okay. The main seat has been locked and is approaching in obscurity mode. The iron operated for a while, and the largest warship in the screen was displayed, with more than a dozen guards surrounding it, preventing water from leaking. I snorted coldly, thinking that no matter how much I defend, it would be useless. My shadow killer is invincible. The warship was approaching quietly. When it was less than 500 meters away from the main ship, I suddenly turned off the obscurity mode and ordered, the main gun is charged, and the firepower is covered, and I will explode. Buzz the blue light cannon fired 3 times in succession, directly hitting the core position of the main ship. The first one tear off their shield, the second one blows through the body, and the third one directly detonates their energy. The entire main ship instantly turns into a huge group of fireballs, and the surrounding guards are also shaken by the impact waves, forming a group of skews. The head is gone. Run! Who dares to mess with us? A shocking scream came from the communication channel, and the remaining warships fled and scattered, as if they were stunned. Run? Can you run? I'm so angry that I let my iron out, and I took all their goods to me, without any leak. I slapped the table, my eyes were so excited. Next is a single harvest battle. The Blood-Blade Alliance's killings were powerless and were chased by my unmanned machine. In less than 2 hours, I moved all the energy crystals, medical modules, and rare materials they brought into the Shadow Killer stock. The resource list on the screen made me feel excited. Captain, this wave of big money. The light energy crystal has been upgraded to the warship firepower system for 3 times, and there are those medical modules that can be sold to the ground of a few small planets. The little iron shook his brain. Ha, you did a pretty job. But now that's when there are so many civilized teams in the Silver River. If we pass by one day I will make them tremble when they hear the name Si Song Wang Lin Kuang. I laughed up, and my ambitions are getting stronger and stronger. At this moment, the radar screen suddenly flashed and a strange signal source jumped out, which was extremely fast and was rushing towards us. Xiao Zilima reported, "Chief, there is an unknown warship approaching, and the signal does not belong to any known civilization, nor is it a magazine of the Mafia. What should I do?" "Oh? Are you not afraid of death?" I raised my eyebrows and sat upright, enlarged the image and let's see who is so big. A red warship is quickly displayed on the screen, with a flow-through shape, as fast as a certain leopard. A red rose was painted on the body, carrying a charming atmosphere. The communication channel suddenly echoed a cold and charming female voice, "Hey, the new scoundrel, you did a lot of work. The Blood-Blade Alliance has been attacked by you, so I have to meet you. I am Red Rose, the fastest female scoundrel in the Silver River Galaxy. I want to talk about cooperation, do you dare to answer?" Red Rose? I was stunned for a moment, and quickly recalled the name in my brain. Xiao Zilimo added, "Long, this woman is not simple. The most mysterious female gangster is surrounded by the Silver River. She has an elite team under her command, which is as fast as a ghost. The civilized team can't even beat her. Interesting, cooperation? I don't believe in the food in the sky." I sneered, pressed the message key, and carried a few points in my language. "Red roses aren't it? It's okay to cooperate. Let me first tell you what you can give me, otherwise I won't have time to play with you." "Ha, so please. I like it. Lin Kuang, I know your business. I just smeared the Black Skull and fucked the Blood-Blade Alliance. I have a great reputation. I can give you information and support and help you avoid the pursuit of the civilized team. The condition is that we are the ones who are fighting for a big vote, so what if you do?" There was a smile in Red Rose's voice, as if she was confident. I narrowed my eyes and calculated the speed plate in my heart. Information and support are indeed good things. Now that I am famous, I will definitely be targeted by the civilized team. It is good to have an ally. But this woman is not a fuel-efficient light at first glance, and cooperation is a gambling game. What if she gets cheated? Okay, cooperation is okay, but I have the conditions. We will pay 50% of the money. No one will cheat, otherwise don't blame me for not knowing others when I turn my face. I replied coldly, full of domineering words. Trade. It's worthy of being the king of the new sea, please bet. Let's join hands first. A fleet of the Sky Alliance is coming here. The goods are more fertile than the Blood-Blade Alliance. Let's intercept it, how about it? Red Rose's voice was filled with a burst of excitement. Sky Blue Alliance? Hey, I'm just in a hurry, I'm done. I slapped the table and ordered, Little Iron, lock the seat, keep up with the Red Rose's fleet and prepare for action. At this moment, the radar screened suddenly frantically, and more than 10 red spots approached from a distance at high speed. The signal mark was the battleship of the Sky Alliance. Xiao Iron exclaimed, Long, not good. They are coming faster than expected, we are surrounded. Inclusive? This is the one I am most afraid of. Red Rose, don't say I didn't remind you, be ready to do it. I grinned, with a cold light flashing in my eyes. On the screen, the Red Rose's warship had already reached me, and her smiley voice came from the communication channel. Don't worry, Lin Kuang, we are in charge, this will help Setsi die as much as he can. The Sky Alliance team is getting closer and closer, and the leader's flag is roaring, "Sea Pirate, hand over the goods you have been brought in, otherwise you will be crushed into a universe." Crush? Come and try. I pulled the rod suddenly, and the shadow killer was invisible in an instant. The blue light cannon was fully charged and pointed directly at the other side's flag. My heart was so hot that I had to call my name in this battle so that the entire Silver Galaxy would know that the Sea King Lin Kuang is here. Crush? I want to see how many pounds you have. I sneered and pressed the control key suddenly. The Shadow Killer body mode started instantly, and the entire warship disappeared from the thunder like a ghost. On the screen, the Sky Alliance's fighter team is approaching, and the energy wave pattern of the flag shows that they have begun to charge the main gun and are ready to give us a ruthless move. Red Rose, are your people ready? We have to start first, otherwise this helps me really think I'm bullying. I shouted at the communication channel, staring at the enemy movements on the screen. Don't worry, Lin Kuang, my subordinates have already been in place. You are responsible for the main attack. I will lead the team to cut them back and guarantee that they will never come back. Red Rose's voice was filled with a smile, as if she had expected this battle. Her red warship Rosethorn had accelerated toward the enemy's side wings, and several small warships followed were as fast as a red flash. Okay. Small Iron, lock the flag of the Sky Blue Alliance, charge the main gun, and hit me hard. Stop their heads first. I slapped the table, and the war was filled with all my might. Received, Long. The main gun is charging, the target is locked, 3, 2, 1 firing. The small iron pointed and delicate sound came out, and then the Shadow Killer shook his body, and a dazzling blue light cannon shot out directly from the body state, and the target pointed directly at the flag of the Sky Alliance. The flagship was large in shape and had a very high shield energy value, but my blue cannon ignored these and teared a hole, which made their shield system go directly to waste, and black smoke appeared on the body. The enemy shield collapsed, and the power system was slapped 30%. It was long and beautifully done. The iron shook his brains so excitedly, his mechanical eyes flashed with blue light. Beautiful fart, that's just the beginning. Let's find out again and wipe them out. I gritted my teeth and cut, controlling the aiming system and locked the flag again. The guys who helped the Sky Blue Alliance were just so scary. Now I was stunned by my shot. The communication channels were filled with their panic screams. The enemy's firepower is abnormal. The location cannot be detected. All ships, scattered in shape, turn on the counter scan. A quick sound came from the flagship, which obviously they were already panicked. Scan? Scan you. My obsession technique is top level in the Silver River sphere, and it's a fart. I snorted coldly, and the second blue light cannon shot out again. This time I hit the engine core of the flagship directly. The huge explosion fire illuminated the entire star field. The flagship was like torn to pieces, instantly dispersed, and its bones scattered everywhere. The flag is over. The main force of the Sky Blue Alliance lost its command, and now it's a pile of loose sand. Xiao Ji reported excitedly, and the screen showed the remaining 10 warships in a group. Some wanted to run, and some were still squeezing against each other, but the laser cannon and guides hit the air and could not touch our shadow at all. Lin Kuang, do a pretty job. They are so ill. My people have already stepped in their way and prepared to pack their bags. Red Rose's voice came from the communication channel, carrying a piece of praise. I glanced at the screen. Her Rosethorn had already laid behind the enemy with several warships, like a pack of wolves storming towards the flock. Several precise guides directly sank the 2 enemy who were trying to escape. Hey, Red Rose, your hands are very quick. Then we should work outside and take care of this help. I grinned, and the heat in my heart couldn't suppress it. In the obscure mode, the Shadow Killer wanders on the battlefield like a god of death. The blue light cannons are fired one after another, and they are almost shot by one, and the enemy has no chance to even take action. After less than half an hour of the battle, the Sky Alliance team was beaten to pieces by us. In the end, the last few battleships were not good, and they fell and fell and fell and ran away. I was about to chase after me, but the sound of Red Rose suddenly rose, and there was a solemn expression in my language. Lin Kuang, stop chasing me, there is a new signal on Leda, and this time it's not simple. What signal? Are there anyone who is not afraid of death? I glanced at me and sat back on the long seat to let the small iron adjust the thunder data. On the screen, dozens of red spots suddenly popped up far away. The scale was larger than the wave of the Sky Blue Alliance. The signal identification showed several different civilization flags: Sky Blue Alliance, Red Imperial Empire, Star Cloud Alliance. Damn, this helper actually joined forces. Chief, the situation is not good. This is the joint fleet of several major civilizations in the Silver River sphere. There are more than 50 warships in total. The firepower configuration is more than 3 times that of the Sky Alliance unit. They probably are coming. Xiao Hai's voice was panicked for the first time, and his mechanical eyes were as flashing as a warning light. United team? Hey, this is going to give me a big gift. I grinned on the surface, dressed without caring, but my heart still skipped a beat. With more than 50 warships, this scale is not something you can play with. No matter how strong the Shadow Killer has firepower and no matter how powerful it is, it can escape unstoppable if it is surrounded and resisted. Lin Kuang, don't be too stubborn. We are in danger now. Several civilizations are rushing to make us mess up. I have a plan to retreat first, lead them to chase each other, and then use your obsession and my speed to break through one by one. What's the case? Red Rose's voice was so cold that it seemed that she had already calculated the solution. Retreat? I never run away. But you have to say something reasonable. Trying to the point is a fool's behavior, but it's okay to play a little smart. I touched my chin and my brain flew quickly. Little iron, analyze their shapes and find if there are any teams. Let's pick the soft persimmons first. In the analysis, the leader, the main force of the joint fleet, is concentrated in the center. There are several small teams on the left and right wings responsible for detection and protection. The firepower is weak and the number is small, which is suitable for starting. The iron quickly replied, and several red points were marked on the screen, and the position was indeed far from that of the main fleet. Okay, start with these few. Red Rose, let's move. You will rush their left wing. I touched the right wing. Kill these small wing first, so that they can know how to mess with me. I slapped the table, and Lima ordered the Shadow Killer to adjust the direction, and the obscure mode was fully opened, quietly approaching the several detective ships on the right wing without any noise. Received, Lin Kuang, don't let me down. Red Rose smiled lightly, and her rose thorn had already rushed to the left with the team, as fast as a red light, instantly attracting the attention of the joint team. The Lima in the enemy communication channel exploded, and some roared, "Catch that female gangster," and some were urging the boat to encircle, and they didn't realize that the god of death had touched their right. Hey, the attention is all on the Red Rose. Do these Asuko really think I ran away? I sneered, locked a detective ship on the edge of the right wing, and the blue cannon fired directly, instantly blew the ship into a spark. Then I didn't stop, and the warrior wandered like a ghost, and killed 3 small boats. Only then did the joint force react, and the right wing communication channels were full of panic screams. The right wing encounters a thief. Can't detect the enemy's position. Please support. A voice was so anxious that it almost broke. Support? It's too late. I grinned, controlled the warship and continued to steal, picking those who had fallen into the order to start. On the other hand, Red Rose's fleet was also not vague. Her war was just a word fast, and she brought the enemy to circle in the star field, dragging the main force of the left wing apart, and then breaking it one by one. In less than an hour, the 2-wing small team of the joint fleet was almost emptied by us. Although the main team is large, its shape is as chaotic as a porridge. The enemy's plane collapsed, and they began to retract their defense lines, but internal communications showed that the main team had already been quarreled by the command problems. Our chance is here. Xiaoshi reported excitedly, his mechanical eyes were as bright as the lights. It's a big deal? Hey, the mess between civilization has helped us a lot. Red Rose, have you heard it? Taking advantage of their sisters-in-law, let's go straight to the middle and kill their master. I shouted at the communication channel, staring at the biggest warships on the screen. It's just my wish, Lin Kuang, let's see who will kill the main ship first. Red Rose's voice was snatched, and then her warship had been pushed towards the enemy's center. Several guides accurately hit the shield of a main ship, causing the opponent's energy to fluctuate violently. Just compete, I'm afraid of who? I gritted my teeth and controlled the Shadow Killer to cut directly into the middle of the enemy's ship from the obscene state. The main gun was launched, and the blue light cannon smashed towards the core of the other party's main ship as if it was not enough. The first one tears the shield opens, the second one blows through the body, and the third one directly detonates the energy furnace. The main ship instantly turns into a huge fireball, and the impact waves shake the surrounding warships. The main ship is over. The joint ships are in a mess, and the remaining ships are starting to escape in all directions. Xiao Hai's voice was almost screaming, and the screen showed that the joint ships had completely lost their fighting ambitions, and the remaining battleships ran around like no heads. Escape? Can you run away? I'll send out the unmanned aircraft and take all their goods to me. Red Roses, let's pay 50% off. Don't say I'm not talking about anything. I laughed, and I felt so happy. The unmanned machine quickly moved out and began to recover resources in the enemy's slaughter, including energy crystals, weapon modules, and rare materials. The number of them was so large that the screen could not be displayed. Lin Kuang, this wave is worth it. The joint fleet was beaten like this by us. I guess I dare not come again for trouble in a short time. However, we have to be careful. My Leda just detected a strange signal, with unknown origin and location deep in the star field. Red Rose's voice suddenly became solemn, as if he had discovered something wrong. Strange signal? Little Iron, please click it out and take a look. I glanced at my eyebrows, and felt a bad feeling in my heart. A blurred signal point was quickly displayed on the screen, located thousands of kilometers behind our war scene, and the signal fluctuated abnormally, completely unlike any ship of a known civilization, and even the magazines of the gang. Long, this signal is not right. The wave frequency exceeds the common technology in the Silver River sphere, like some unknown energy, and it is moving slowly towards us. Xiao Hai's voice rarely shook, and his mechanical eyes flew fast. Unknown energy? What's the thing? I felt nervous in my heart, and suddenly remembered the legend flowing deep in the Silver River, a mysterious creature of unknown dimensions, saying that it could swallow the entire fleet, and even the civilized fleet could not take it. I was about to ask again, when the radar screen suddenly flashed, and several joint fleets of markers popped up near the signal point, but the signal waves were rapidly weakening, as if they were swallowed by something. Long, not good. The signals of those escaped ships have no more. According to the analysis of energy retention, they were not bombed, but were directly absorbed by some kind of force. Xiao Hai's voice became more and more urgent, and a strange energy vortex was displayed on the screen. Several twisted shadows could be seen, swimming in the star field like a living thing. Absorb? Damn, what the hell is this? My skin felt numb, and I felt an inexplicable chill for the first time. The sound of the Red Rose also came from the communication channel, and the language was full of suspicion. Lin Kuang, don't be upset. This thing is not simple. It may be the monsters deep in the Silver River. I have heard that they can swallow the energy of the fleet, and even the ship itself can decompose and digest it. We have to withdraw first. Retreat? I will never run. But this thing is indeed evil, Small Iron. Please record the fluctuation frequency of this signal. Let's go back to the safe distance first and find out the situation before telling me. I gritted my teeth. Although I was dissatisfied, I just told me that this thing is more dangerous than the joint fleet. Received, Long. The body mode is fully open, ready to jump and retreat. The small iron operated quickly, and the shadow killer instantly hid into the air and retreated towards the safe star field far away. The Red Rose's fleet also followed us tightly. On the Thunder, the strange energy vortex was still moving slowly, as if locking our breath. I leaned against the long seat and stared at the twisted shadow on the screen. A strong sense of anxiety surged in my heart. What exactly is this? Why does it suddenly appear here? The picture of the Swallow team of the United Fleet is still wandering around my brain, making me realize for the first time that the Silver River Galaxy may be more dangerous than I thought. Red Rose, we have to find out the details of this thing, otherwise we may have to take our lives in the next time we meet it. I said in a low voice to the communication channel, with a chill in my language. Agree, Lin Kuang, this thing is marijuana, and it may be more difficult than all civilized teams combined. We have to work together to find the thread, otherwise we can't sit still. Red Rose's voice was rarely serious, as if he had realized the seriousness of the matter. I clicked the head, held the rod tightly, and stared at the latest screen. Monsters of unknown dimensions, secrets of the devouring team. This game seems to be getting more and more interesting. Relying on the long seat, I stared at the strange energy vortex on Ryda's screen, and my heart seemed to be pressing down on a large stone. The picture of the joint fleet being swallowed was still wandering around my brain. There was no waste left in those warships and they were eaten by that thing. This is not an ordinary enemy, not even anything known to the Silver River Gyrus that can be solved. The mysterious creature of unknown dimensions. This story does not seem to be bragging. We have retreated to a safe distance. The energy vortex is not moving fast, so we didn't catch up at the moment. But according to wave analysis, the energy level of this thing is at least 10 times the total of the joint fleet. If we fight head-on, we may not be able to do it. Xiao Hai's voice was rarely low, and his mechanical eyes were flashing red, as if warning me. 10 times? Damn, this thing is open. I gritted my teeth and flew in my brain to make a quick response. If you can't fight head-on, you have to play smart. However, since this thing can swallow the team, it may contain some big secrets, or big treasures. If it can be killed, it will not only solve the future problems. It may also be able to defeat the big one, so that all the efforts of the Silver River Galaxy can see who is the real boss. Lin Kuang, don't be moved, I know what you are thinking. But this is too evil, and our joint partners may not be able to handle it. My information network shows that there is a deserted research station deep in the Silver River, which may contain information about unknown creatures. Let's go there to touch it first. How about it? Red Rose's voice came from the communication channel, carrying a little caution. Obviously, she didn't want to directly follow this monster hard steel. Research site? Okay, let's figure out the details of this thing first. Iron, lock the seats, keep up with the Red Rose's fleet, let's go here. I slapped the table, and a trace of determination flashed in my eyes. No matter what monster he is, if you dare to take my path, you have to pay for it. A few hours later, the Shadow Killer and the Rose Thorn team of Red Rose arrived at a deadly star field deep in the Silver River. There is no shadow of the planet here, and there are floating bones and energy storms. When thunder is interfered, it is often disturbed by Didi. Xiaoshi pointed to a faint signal on the screen and said, "Chief, the research station has arrived. It is a lost civilization outpost. There may be storage equipment in the energy-saving display, so we have to search in. Red Rose, let's move. Your people are responsible for the warning outside the station. I will bring the small wire in to search for information. It's fast." I suddenly ordered, put on the battle armor, and took the small wire to directly block the research station from a small landing truck of the Shadow Killer. Red Rose was gone, and Lima arranged for her team to patrol the surroundings to prevent short-sighted guys from coming to worry. The interior of the research station was extremely broken, and there was no air. Only a sporadic power supply was still operating, which illuminated several corridors. Xiaoxi and I were exploring all the way, and finally found a control center full of raw lens equipment. The wire quickly connected to the host, and the mechanical claws were operating, crackling, and a bunch of miscellaneous and missing data popped up on the screen. Long, there is a harvest. This is a secret project of the Sky Alliance, specializing in studying unknown dimensions. They call this thing the Void Devourer, which can decompose any matter through the energy field, and even jump into space. The data shows that this thing has a core, hidden in the center of the energy vortex. As long as the core is destroyed, it can collapse. Xiao Hai's voice brought a silk to its vigor, which was obviously very satisfied with this discovery. Core? Hey, isn't this just telling me how to kill it? Are you talking about the weaknesses of this core? I raised my eyebrows, and a burst of hope ignited in my heart. Yes. There is an energy barrier outside the core, and ordinary weapons cannot be penetrated, but if you use a high-frequency wave interference barrier, you can open the gap in a short time, and then use the maximum firepower to penetrate it and blow it up. However, the data also says that this thing has a strong perception ability. Once it is locked, it can basically not run away. Xiao Hai's voice lowered again, as if reminding me that this was not a fool. Can't run away? I won't run away. I'll tune out the data of the high-frequency wave. Let's go back and modify the warship and prepare to do it with a big deal. I clenched my fists and started to check out how to deal with this monster in my brain. No matter how awesome it is, I have the Shadow Killer and the ally of Red Rose, so there is no reason to be able to deal with it. Back to the warship, I made the small iron change the firepower system and adjust the main gun to a mode that can fire high-frequency impulse. After listening to my plan, Red Rose didn't recommend it, and said directly, "Lin Kuang, you are such a big shot. But if you count me, my team is responsible for attracting its attention and giving you time to get close to the core, but you have to guarantee that you will be killed once, otherwise we will all be done." "Don't worry, Red Rose, I never missed it. Little Iron, lock the energy vortex position, let's go out and give this Void Devourer." I sneered, sat back on the long seat, pulled the rod suddenly, and the Shadow Killer hit into the void again and headed straight for the strange star field. A few hours later, we approached the energy vortex again. On Leta's screen, the twisted shadow was much bigger than before, and all the floating bones around were sucked in, like a bottomless pit. I felt a tight heart, but my mouth was still hard. "Red Rose, follow the plan to move. Your team will first move, attract its attention. I will approach it, find a chance to fuck it." Received, Lin Kuang, don't let me down. Red Rose's voice was as cold as ever. Later, her Rose Thorn led several warships toward the vortex at high speed, and several guides smashed over, exploding a wave of energy. The monster was indeed attracted, and a few black-touching objects stretched out from the center of the vortex, heading towards the Red Rose's fleet, at a very fast speed. Length, the Red Rose successfully opened its target. The vortex core is exposed, and the energy barrier waves are strengthening. We have to be nervous. Xiaoshi reported in a hurry, and a focal sphere in the center of the vortex was displayed on the screen, with a layer of strange blue light curtain surrounding it. The body mode is fully opened, approaching the core. The high-frequency wave is ready, and I will find a timer. I bit my teeth and controlled the warplane and slid towards the center of the vortex like a ghost. The Red Rose's fleet was fighting hard outside. Several warships had been swept by the touch and were directly sucked into the whirlpool, and there was no residue left. I felt a little nervous, but I knew that it was not the time to hesitate, and I must win it in one stroke. It is 500 meters away from the core, the energy barrier is stable, the power wave is charged, the load is long, and it can be emitted at any time. Xiao Hai's voice was almost screaming, and it was obviously extremely stressful. Shot! I suddenly pressed the control key, and an invisible wave of impulse shot out from the first of the Shadow Killer's ship, directly hitting the blue light curtain around the core. The light curtain trembled violently during the moment it was hit, and then a small gap broke open, revealing the sphere that was glowing inside. My eyes lit up, and Lima ordered, "The main gun is full power, the blue cannon locks the core, and sends it to me." Buzz, a dazzling blue light cannon shot straight into the gap and hit the glowing ball hard. A strong light burst out in the core instantly, like a detonated supernova. The shockwave directly tore the vortex around it. The black touchers twisted wildly for a few times, then quickly disintegrated, turning into a group of energy slags and scattered in the star field. Core destruction. The energy vortex is collapsing. Long, we succeed. Xiao Hai's voice was full of incredible, and his mechanical eyes were as flashing as a smoke. Success? Ha ha ha, beautifully done. Red Rose, did you hear this monster? I was fucked by me. I laughed up, and the pressure in my heart finally disappeared. The sound of red roses was transmitted from the communication channel, carrying a burst of fatigue but couldn't hide the excitement. Lin Kuang, you really are a crazy person. This battle is worth it. No one in the Silver River sphere dares to underestimate us anymore. The vortex collapsed, leaving a large number of unknown energy slaughter bones. According to the scan, there may be extremely rare materials in these slaughter bones. Do we want to recycle them? Xiao Ji asked excitedly, and a group of blue crystals floating in the star field were shown on the screen, with high energy values. Recycle. Must be recycled. This wave not only killed the monster, but also created a fortune, haha. I swept my hand, and the unmanned machine quickly moved out and began to collect those energy crystals. These things can be sold at will, and they can be replaced by the land of several planets, not to mention the upgrade to the Shadow Killer firepower system. After the battle ended, I and Red Rose's team merged, and the two of them cleaned up the spoils, and they couldn't help laughing on their faces. This battle not only solved the threat of the Void Devourer, but also made our reputation explode. In the communication channel, the urgent broadcasts of major civilizations have begun to spread this matter. What the Sea Thief King Lin madly cooperated with Red Rose to kill unknown monsters, and the terrifying threat deep in the Silver River was finally concluded. I was so happy. Lin Kuang, after this battle, no one in the Silver River squad dares to move us again. The joint fleet was beaten by us, and the unknown monsters were killed by us. What are you going to do next? Red Rose leaned on her long seat, with a little curiosity in her voice. What should I do? Of course it's a big deal. The Silver River system is so civilized, I have to clean up one by one so that they can know who is the boss. Red Rose, we are in charge. How about turning this star field into our Sea Zodiac Empire? I grinned, my eyes full of ambition. Hai Xiong Empire? Haha, Lin Kuang, you have such a big appetite. But I like it, let's turn the Silver Gyre together. Red Rose's voice was filled with excitement, and it was obviously very interesting to this plan. In the next few months, Red Rose and I swept through the major star fields of the Silver River Galaxy with our fleet. The once domineering civilized fleets were beaten to the ground and begging for us. The Sky Alliance, the Red Imperial Empire, and the Star Cloud Alliance, these great forces saw our flags and walked around the road, for fear of getting into trouble. My name Sea Magistrate Lin has spread throughout every corner of the Silver River Galaxy. Even the most remote small planets know that there is a crazy person who can pick the entire fleet and kill unknown monsters. Finally, I established my own roots on a resource star in the center of the Silver River Galaxy, named Crazy Wolf Castle. This place has been transformed into a huge space fortress, with hundreds of warships surrounding it, all of which are fleets of resources piled up over the years. Red Roses became my right-hand man, responsible for information and diplomacy. When those civilized messengers saw us, they could only lower their heads and bow their heads and shout Old Master Overlord in their mouths, for fear of offending them and being beaten into scum. I just received a peace letter from Xingyun United. They are willing to pay 100,000 tons of energy crystals every year to replace the floor where we don't attack them. What do you think? Xiao Ji shook his iron's leather bag and projected an electronic letter onto the screen. Getting the money? Hey, these ass finally know they are afraid. Okay, accept it. Let them remember that if you mess with me once, you will have to pay 10 times the price. I leaned against the main seat of the fortress, holding a cup of top-level beverages brought from the Sky Alliance in my hand, and a smug smile appeared on the corner of my mouth. From a broken ship driver to the current cosmic overlord, I, Lin Kuang, have been walking all the way through the journey, relying on the unacceptable atrophy and the invincible firepower of the Shadow Killer. The war in the Silver River galaxy is still continuing, but whether it is the civilized fleet or the unknown monster, the statute is not my opponent. This star field, from now on, is my ground plate. Red Rose, have you prepared for the next action? I heard that there is a new civilization emerging on the edge of the Silver River. Let's meet them so that they know who is the master of this starry sky. I shouted at the communication channel, and the war was ignited again. Stay on standby anytime, Lin Kuang. With you here, the Silver River will never be bored. Red Rose's smile came from the channel, carrying a slim pic in expectation. I laughed up, my eyes passed through the fortress's scenic window, and looked at the endless sea of stars. The road to the Overlord of the universe has just begun.